How does one sell 10,000 NFTs in minutes?
We're going to find out as we interview young entrepreneur Sean Mike Kelly, who turned his passion of sports and basketball jerseys into a successful 10,000 avatar NFT project. Welcome to Goats and the Metaverse.
I love that.
We're the only weekly show that goes deep into the world of collectibles and NFTs with my man, Stanley. How are you?
I'm living the dream, my friend. I had a very exciting evening last night.
Oh, yeah?
I participated. You participated. We participated in a fantasy football draft with League DAO. And it is 48 teams of the biggest names in NFT game, from Jimmy Eve to G Money to Ja Rule to Des Bryant to our good friend Drew. And I'm excited. I think we had drafted a really good team, and we're gonna win some money, NFTs. We're not really sure, but with this group of guys, I think we're gonna have some fun.
I'm very proud of the contribution that I made into the drafting of this team, and all of my football knowledge and experience that I'm bringing to the contribution to this duo in our fantasy football league. So I think you're in good hands that you have me on the team.
I know. No, there's no rugby players on our team. Well, we got a jam-packed show. We got our buddy Sean Mike Kelly. I'm excited to speak to him and hear his journey. He's a Jersey guy. But before we get into that, let's check on what's happening with the Goat
Vault. Just a reminder for those of you who are new to the show, the Goat Vault is our weekly attempt to help you be part of this crazy NFT world and be part of all the new drops we are doing. So what do? Every week we acquire some new NFTs, we participate in some drops and some secondary sales, and we add them into the vault. We lock them away so they are good and secure. And when we get to 5,000 subscribers on the show, we will be opening up the Goat Vault. Stanley and I are going to invest $10,000 of our own money. I think we've invested about a third of that so far, or maybe 40% of that. The Goat Vault is sitting today valued at $34,154. And that's with ETH coming down and some of the projects coming down. So we expect that number to go up. We've got some pretty cool NFTs in the vault. So if you want to stand a chance of winning it, you just need to subscribe to the show, and we will be distributing those winnings at 5,000 subscribers. So tell your friends, tell your family, tell your mom, tell your dad, tell everyone to subscribe to Goats and the Metaverse.
Well done. I'm glad you do that part, because I don't have that kind of excitement as you do. But $3,000 invested, approximately $3,000 invested. Goat Vault's about $34,000. I'm not a mathematician, but that is a very good return on your investment in a very short period of time. So not bad for buying a few JPEGs and some cardboard. What's happening in the world of NFTs, my friend? Another week of ups and downs and rights and lefts. Yeah. Let's take a look. What we got going on? What has happened?
NFT market is definitely keeping us on the toes. On our toes. The up-only memes are not happening the way we've planned it, but there are certain NFTs that have gone up, not just a small amount, a lot. Loot, which we heard on the show first, which we heard last week on our show, has the #1 spot for the past 7 days. A project that came out of nowhere, does $184 million in sales. It's a 331% rise over the past week, replacing Axie Infinity, replacing CryptoPunks, replacing Bored Apes and Art Blocks to hold that coveted #1 spot. Lot of conversations about loot, whether it's
Nobody knows what it is
now. You don't even know what it is?
Nobody knows what it is.
No one knows exactly. Think of it as Lego blocks to the metaverse. What can you do with Lego blocks? Well, you can do anything, but those still have to be built. People still have to build the integrations, have to build these new add-ons to these Lego block pieces, and each loot is effectively owning one of those Lego blocks. But there's only 8,000 of them available. So there's a lot of controversy and debate on, well, can you actually build the metaverse with only 8,000 Lego blocks? And how does this all work? And how does this extend? We saw Multicoin Capital, Carl Samani, one of the well-known crypto VC funds, ape into loot, tweeted that he spent 8 figures buying up the loot floor. So we're now even seeing big VCs entering into the realm of NFTs, and loot is in a project that seems to be exciting everyone and causing a lot of controversy in whether this can go anywhere or is it just a lot of hype. So we'll be tracking it and keeping you posted. I'm cautiously optimistic about what could come out of the loot world, but wouldn't necessarily be recommending going and spending. I think it's about 9 ETH per loot today. I think that price probably going to come down a little bit once the enthusiasm dies down. What else been happening in the markets, Dan?
I just love that a lazy guy said, "Here's a bunch of Lego pieces. You guys figure it out, and I'm gonna make a shit ton of money along the way." So for all of you out there that say the lazy man can't win, NFTs will prove you wrong. What else is happening? Punks are going up and down, left and right. They're pretty versatile, but they're still staying above 300K. Bored Ape Yacht Club is down, but we do see that there is a $19 million bid over at
Sotheby's.
How do we feel about that? $19 million.
$19 million bid. Let's give a little bit more detail on the actual lot that Sotheby's is auctioning. It's 101 Bored Apes that is owned by the developers of Bored Ape Yacht Club. There's some pretty rare ones and pretty standard ones in the mix, but a $19 million bid came in, I think, yesterday. We have 24 hours left on the auction, so it should be closed tomorrow. And that puts the floor price on these apes at roughly 52 ETH. And on OpenSea, you can grab a floor price ape at about 39 ETH. So there's an arbitrage potentially between those two prices, the 13 ETH in dollar terms. That's a good $40,000 between those two prices. So is the market undervaluing the apes on OpenSea, or is this potential buyer overvaluing what they could do with these apes? And a reminder about apes, what makes them unique is that you own the full commercial rights to these assets. So there's a lot of speculation of who would be buying 101 apes. Maybe it's a production studio, maybe it's a movie house, maybe there's going to see some movies coming out of these apes. Think 101 Dalmatians. Maybe
it's us. Nobody knows.
Maybe it's us. Yeah. Well, I try to convince some people, and they have no vision.
It's not us. We're gonna let you in on secret. We're not buying the apes. We want to buy the apes. We're not buying the apes. But 101. I'm gonna make a prediction that I believe that number is gonna go a lot higher before it closes. I think it's gonna close in the 20s. Wouldn't be surprised if it closes in the 30s, because this is coming out of the owner's special collection. This is not just kind of floor apes. They are more unique. They are more rare. Can't wait to check in next week and see what happens. What else is happening in this crazy world is Blue, another project that's in the top 7. Don't really even know what it means. It's just a parody on loot, being spoken highly of by our friend Beanie. And here's another project that is it a derivative project? Is it a copycat? Is it a parody? I don't even know. But Beanie comes out and says, "Hey, you're going to do loot. We're going to do blue." And people jump right in because they believe in the man Beanie, because he proved us right with Pixie Vault and Punk's comics. What are your thoughts on blue?
Yeah, I think the reputation of Beanie as a hype man is proving to be a very powerful reputation. We've seen what him getting involved in Punk's comic has done, and people have made a lot of money investing in the comics, and what's happened with Punk, with Pixel Vault and Meta Heroes and everything that's happening there, and the floor price of comics sitting at, I think, about 9 ETH, and Meta Hero at about 8 ETH. So if you're involved in that project, you've done very well. So if Beanie says, this is the next big thing, a lot of people believe him and are aping into the project. What does that mean long term? Well, we'll have to wait and see if it gets anything more than a little bit of hype. But based on what we've seen out of Punk's comic, I wouldn't write it off.
I like blue. I don't even know what it does, but I believe the green color is sexier than the black color of loot. So that sold me.
Is that what got you to buy?
Really, that's what got me to buy. No, but another project that Beanie's allegedly involved in is Monkey Bet DAO, which I could say 100 times. Monkey Bet DAO, Monkey Bet DAO, Monkey Bet DAO. And that is another interesting project because it's an online gaming casino. And if you own one of these characters, you get free monkey money. And even if it goes to shit, you could tell your friends that you have monkey money.
Real monkey money.
Real
virtual monkey money. I mean, who doesn't want that?
I want that. And they're backed by a legitimate gaming company. And it looks like they're building an online casino. Another very interesting twist on what you can do with NFTs. Gaming companies, we know, are coming in. Now you have an online gaming betting company coming in and doing their own variation. What's next? What does the future hold? Nobody knows, but it does continue to get a lot more interesting on a weekly basis. Our friends over at VFriends, that VFriends are ripping. I believe they're about 17 ETH. They went up about 7 ETH in the last week and change.
Wow.
And a lot of that has to do with, they said that they're going to announce on September 13th more details about VCon. Who's going to be a VCon? What is VCon? But just that tease of announcement has driven the price up tremendously. And for those of you guys that don't remember, Gary Vee and VFriends had a tough time selling out at half an Ethereum for the VCon ticket. And now the floor is about 16, 17 ETH. That's a lot of ROI.
That is a lot of ROI, but it also shows the enthusiasm and excitement around the potential that NFTs can deliver. If you think about Loot, you think about VFriends, you think about Bloot, people are buying into the future prospects of these projects. What's going to happen when maybe we miss the mark, or they don't deliver to the full extent, or the news isn't as exciting as the rumor? Well, we'll see what happens to the price points after that. I think we're going to see some wild corrections happening in some of these projects over the short term. But long term, if there are good backers, there's good people behind it and good communities behind it, these should continue to accelerate and grow. And I've been impressed with Gary and everything that he's doing. You're muted.
I said sorry. Me too. What about Lost Poets? Are you excited with Pac making 80 million?
So Pac, for those of you who don't know, is a well-known crypto native artist in the space. Was one of the first to do a collaboration with Sotheby's, or I think was the first artist for Sotheby's to do a collaboration with, and their first introduction into NFTs. Their drop at that time sold out for $18 million. It was a series of cubes. Those cubes today are priced at about $18,000 or $20,000. So a Pac one of one, or a Pac collectible, is highly regarded. So when Lost Poets came onto the scene, a product of Pac or a new contribution of Pac, they sold out instantly. 65,536 pages of what's called Lost Poets, sold out at 0.32 ETH each, and made Pac $80 million on first drop. That's a big number for a project that we still don't know a lot of detail about. There is a secret roadmap that is on the website that talks about the prologue, which is the project introduction, which happens 48 hours before the pre-sale. Then there's the sale. Then Act 2 is the reveal. Act 3 is the explorer. Act 4 is the twist. And Act 5 is the epilogue. And there's not much more detail that's given into each one of those. What we do know is that you will be able to use each one of these pages, the 65,536 pages, to be able to get what is called a poet. I don't know what the poet does, and I don't know how you use a poet, but there is some strategy game that is being built into the mechanism of these NFTs, and it's a wait and see, and in Puck we trust kind of project. So there's a lot of enthusiasm of what might come. like we're seeing with Loot and others. So is the excitement going to be worth the 0.32 ETH that people paid? Right now selling for about 0.49. So we're already seeing some uplift on the price, and 65,000 is a big number, but it would be the lowest price puck that's available in the market today. So again, if you have a track record, a history, a name, you're seemingly being able to launch some big projects and get a lot of support behind them.
And what you do with that money and how you spend that money is the most interesting part. Because if he proves the people right and builds a massive project, this is something that people are going to continue to invest in. His second project, his third project, et cetera, et cetera. So some people, and this is the big discussion in NFT community, is it a cash grab, as some people call it, or is this going to be here long term? And if you actually use the profits from your project and reinvest it into the project and build the right project, build the right community, something tells me you're going to be around for a long time and people are going to continue to invest into you. Before we move on to Sean Mike Kelly, who's patiently waiting to speak with us, what's going on with Nouns?
Nouns, Stanley. Nouns are continuing to hit the market well. We're seeing Nouns every day. A reminder, we spoke about Nouns probably about 2 weeks ago. I think it was at about Noun 9 or Noun 10. We're at Noun number 34 today. A reminder, every day a new Noun comes onto the market and is auctioned in a 24-hour auction. We saw Noun number 33 sell yesterday for 199 ETH. Now number 34, the slide is already out of date, is already priced at 140 ETH, and it's getting more competitive to acquire these nouns. All the capital that is raised out of the sale of a noun goes into a treasury, which is controlled by the Nouns DAO, and the shareholders of the Nouns DAO, or the voters of the Nouns DAO, are anyone who own a noun. It's a very interesting way to build community, to build capital, and to be able to build out this project. There's about 4,500 Ethereum in the treasury. That's about $14 or $15 million that is being collected and waiting to be spent on building out the Nouns ecosystem. So I am very bullish on Nouns. I am a big believer in this project. And if you don't have 200 ETH to spend on a noun, you have the option of being a party bid member and owning a fraction of a noun. Any noun that ends in a 1 is put up to a party bid, and anyone can contribute as much ETH as they want to the bid, and hopefully the crowd can win. We've seen noun number 11 being won by the crowd. And 3 times they've gone up against the whales and only won once. But I'm expecting to start to see more crowd wins of the nouns coming shortly.
This is like Braveheart or Game of Thrones, the whales versus the crowd. I love it. I'm excited to see what happens. I know that you are a proud noun owner and you're on your soapbox saying, hey, I believe in the nouns. You made a bullish play on them, and I applaud you for that. I think I believe that the best way to win in this market is actually not follow the noise and follow what you like and believe in and what interests you. And I think long term you could win successfully with that. Well, without further ado, let's bring on our buddy Sean Mike Kelly. I have a very important question for you. Sean, welcome to the show.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up, buddy? How are you?
Good.
My first question is, because we were discussing this before you hopped on, is it Chibi Dinos or Chibi Dinos? Or am I saying it completely wrong?
I've heard both. I say Chibi Dinos, but I've heard Chibi Dinos. I've heard all the variations.
All right. Well, you could say it in like an Italian accent, like Chibi Dino. We were playing around with that, but we don't want to offend anybody. But welcome to the show. We're glad to have you here. Before we jump into your project, which I'm excited to learn more about, would love to learn your story a little bit. Tell us about Sean Mike Kelly.
Yeah, 100%. Just want to say thanks for having me. You guys, I was hearing you guys talk earlier. You guys definitely know your stuff, so that's awesome. But yeah, so I grew up in New Jersey, town called Bridgewater. Went to Rutgers for a year. Couldn't really maintain the GPA, so I dropped out. And at that time, I was running a business called Jersey Champs, and I was basically selling custom sports jerseys. And I think when I dropped out, we had a couple 100,000 sales, so it was like a big risk at the time. But I just went all in and made it work. Just grinded and got my jerseys in the hands of tons of athletes, rappers, ton of big influencers and stuff, and they helped spread the word from there. So I established a ton of relationships in the NBA from there. So when I started Chibi Dinos, whatever you want to say, it was just easy because I already worked with these NBA players, so I could get them on board. I had to educate a ton of them about NFTs because it's such a new thing, but it's been fun combining the two worlds. And yeah, thanks for having me again.
So tell us a little bit about the jersey business. It was what kind of jerseys were they?
Basketball jerseys, baseball jerseys, football, did all sorts, but basketball always sold the best. That's why with the Chibi Dinos, we went with the basketball jerseys, and we basically do whatever they wanted. So for example, 2 Chainz released an album. We just put the album artwork on there and sold it to him, and he sold them on his website. So stuff like that, because no one was really doing custom jerseys outside of the NBA style jerseys. There wasn't really any sort of custom styles.
And how long have you been going in the custom jersey business?
It's been 5 years now. I started it in 2016 in my dorm room at Rutgers.
In 2016, you dropped out of college, started this business. 5 years later, assuming it's a resounding success, what was the inspiration to combine that passion and NFTs? What was kind of the aha moment when you saw this connection?
Yeah, my NFT journey was interesting. I got into Top Shot, but I got in a little too late. So I lost about 300 grand. And that sort of scared me for a few months. But then I hopped into this one project called Ecomi. I don't know if you guys heard of that one.
No.
Omi, Vive. So they have a ton of NFT licensing with major companies like Disney, huge companies. So I got into that very early. I think it was under a cent, and sort of made my money back there. And then started seeing Gary Vee, all these influencers talk about NFTs, Logan Paul, FaZe Banks, all those guys. So just kept an eye on that. And the FUD just hit me not the FUD, the FOMO just hit me after a few months. And I hopped into PFPs probably a month ago. And then that's sort of where I came up with Chibi Dinos.
How long did it take you to actually come up with your project?
We did it all in 8 days. It was they had a rough draft on a piece of paper. I was like, I like that. At first I was gonna do like what everyone else was doing, like an animal, and just do that, but I want to do something unique. So we did the Chibis, and then we added the jersey element from Jersey Champs. So I thought that was pretty cool.
8 days.
Yeah, 8 days.
Kudos to you, man.
What needs to happen in 8 days? I mean, you're then in a very fast timeline. You had this idea of an NFT avatar project. Talk us through what actually goes into producing something like an NFT, like a Chibi Dinos project.
Yeah, I learned a lot about it, about the whole process. Basically, we had a design team create the rough draft. And then once I greenlighted it from there, that's what I mean by 8 days. We were doing a ton of rough drafts before that. But once we had the one I liked, then they digitized it, put it onto Photoshop, and then they used, I don't know exactly what it is, but it's like an algorithm, a generator. They created all the assets and then put it into the generator, which then made the 10,000 dinos. And then from there, it was just building the website out, marketing, growing the Discord, growing the Twitter, posting on my Instagram, doing all that marketing stuff.
And what's the vision for Chibi Dinos? Why would someone collect a Chibi?
So we're trying to integrate with real basketball events. We just gave away like 10 tickets to this dunk contest in Vegas, starting there. And eventually we want to partner with influencer basketball leagues and stuff to the point where you could just show your Chibi Dino as a ticket, kind of like what Gary Vee is doing with B Friends, his conference. So that's one aspect. We're building out a game. I know every project says they're doing that, but we're actually building out a game. It's a basketball game where you're going to be able to play against other teams and players. Talking to some big game development companies about that right now. And yeah, I mean, our holders have been going up daily, which is good. We started with 2,200 when we first minted, and I think it's at almost 3,800 now. So just building out the community.
How long did it take you guys to sell out your project?
So it was 18 minutes. I actually think it would have been quicker, but we only posted the mint link in the Discord. So a ton of people couldn't even mint from Twitter and Instagram and stuff.
So what do you think? Why do you think your project sold out in 18 minutes? And kudos to you, congratulations. I think that's astonishing, right? I mean, we hear obviously projects sell out in minutes. You're one of theirs, but we also see projects that are struggling to sell out. So and there's a lot of NFTs that are dropping on a daily basis. Why do you guys sold out? What is it because you do have the following and the relationships on social media? Is it because people like the product? What do you think it is?
I think it was a number of things. I mean, definitely my following helped because I have a following on Instagram, small following on Twitter. So a lot of the people that got Chibi Dinos, that was their first NFT purchase ever, and they sort of came from my following. Also, like before I even started everything, I DM'd probably the top 50, 100 people in the NFT space and just asked them for advice, and they all said just focus on building the community. Really, just the community is the most important thing. So going into that was my whole mindset. Make sure everyone's happy. So yeah, like we had the pre-sale, which sold out in 40 seconds, which was crazy. And then the main sale was 18 minutes. But I think it was the marketing as well. Like I said, the NBA connections, we had NBA players tweeted out. So I think that really helped. And I think it was the timing too, because 2-3 weeks ago it was a lot easier to launch than it is now. A lot of projects aren't selling out right now.
Why do you think they're not selling out? Why do you think people are not necessarily buying every project that hits the market? Is it just because there's too many of them, or is it because their vision is not visionary?
There's a lot more launching now than there was a month ago. So I think it might be getting a little saturated. There's like 10, 20 drops a day right now. So unless it's a unique project that's doing something, I don't think these 2D profile pictures can sustain, there's too many of them launching right now.
And how do you see the interplay between Chibi Dinos and what you guys are doing within the business? I mean, I know you mentioned the game, but is this something that you think there's more going to come in how you think about your company and the potential integrations there? What are you thinking on that side? I know you're wearing two hats.
Yeah, I want to turn it into a brand like with what Bored Apes did. So yeah, we're talking to Sandbox right now about the metaverse integrations. We're talking to a merch company right now about the merch. I want to turn this into an actual brand, not just a project that dies out in a month or two. So I'm listening to the community, what they're saying, and just reaching out to tons of companies to do collaborations with them.
And what is the community saying? Is the community saying build us a video game? Is the community saying, bring in more NBA players? What are some of the things the people in the community saying?
Well, a lot of them want the floor price to go up, so I'm doing what I can. I've been sweeping the floor. I think I spent like 50 grand already. A lot
I like the conviction, buying your own product. I like that. That's great.
Yeah, they just want the roadmap to be completed. So that's my main focus right now, complete the original roadmap and then go from there.
And who do you have in the team?
That was going to be my question.
Yeah, so originally it was 4 of us. It was the developer, Roxy, designer, which was Kevin, and another guy named Dan who helped with operations. But now we have a whole council. I brought on this guy named Soko6, if you guys know him. He started Great Ape Society and a few other projects. He helped out with Gambling Apes, which dropped a few days ago too. So he's been, we haven't updated it on the site yet, but he hired a whole council. So now we got like 10 people.
Amazing. And I know you mentioned marketing was a big part of being able to sell out the drop, not not everyone has the kind of followers and reach that you have on your Instagram. How did you build that up? What did it take to be able to build such a following on Instagram?
Just years and a lot of money, a lot of time, having other big pages shout me out, leveraging Jersey Champs as well to grow my following. And I host networking events all the time. I'm always attending networking events, going on podcasts like this. I mean, it just took a lot of time. I've joined a lot of giveaway loops and stuff. So yeah, it's pay to play on Instagram. Like the more you spend, I think the more you'll grow.
And let's kind of compare, Bored Ape, where, I mean, I don't know how much money they spent, but looking from the outside in, I don't necessarily think they spent a lot of money on their marketing. And it looks like it was very community driven, where, you're kind of sitting here and saying, hey, you got to spend marketing dollars in order to get the results. How do you kind of, let's say if it's somebody that's looking to build their own NFT or their own project, it is the move to do it quickly and throw a bunch of money at it and really kind of have marketing running on all different levels? Or is it take your time, really build a roadmap in the community, and it might take you 3 months or 3 years, but do it in a way that's more organic, that could have longer term benefits?
Yeah, I mean, it's two different approaches. I know there's a large portion of the NFT community that doesn't like the influencer stuff. That's why the way I went about it was I wanted to hire the NBA players as team captains. So we have 10 different teams, and it's not just like I'm paying them to post, like they're going to be part of the project. They're captains of each team. So I wanted to sort of do it organically like that, rather than just pay these influencers just to post and never talk about it again. Because I know a lot of the community doesn't like stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, we spent about 200 grand so far in marketing, but half of that was on the captains, which was post-launch. So I spent about 100K pre-launches on the Rarity Sniper and all those sites, and growing the Twitter and everything.
And as far as influencers, like,
You hit mute, Stan.
Sorry. There's influencers that are, kind of social media influencers. You're an influencer, right? And then now we have NFT influencers, right? We have Beanie, we have Pranksy, we have a bunch of other guys, where once they kind of make a statement about a project, people buy in, right? They're all, if Gary Vee says, hey, I love this is going to be the next big thing, people are automatically, jumping in, and you see the floor rise. Do you think there's, a difference there? Do you think that the guys who are the proven NFT influencers have the right to come out there and some might call it pumping, or some might say they're just making a statement about a project they love? What are your thoughts there? Do you think there's a difference between that and, an influencer who's getting paid to speak about a project?
Yeah, I think if they're organically buying it and then just saying they bought it, that's different than someone getting paid up front to promote the project. So I think there's a difference. I mean, the thing that excites me is we don't have any of those guys part of Chibi Dinos yet, and we're top 100 as of now. So hopefully we could land one of them, one day.
And what's a long-term goal? Where do you see Chibi Dinos in the next 3 years? Where do you believe you're a top 10 project, top 5 project?
I'm going for top 10. I mean, we'll see what happens, but right now we're 90th, I think. So we're on our way.
And what do you think is the most important ingredient to get that?
Community, utility. If we really nail this game, make it insane, something really unique, not just a cheap game you pay developers in India for or something, like, I think that'll be huge. We do want to go in the metaverse. We do want to do a bunch of stuff, 3D stuff, maybe a Solana airdrop for owners. We got a lot of stuff planned.
And what other projects are you? What other projects do you love?
I do like Rumble Kongs, even though they're technically a competitor. I bought one at 0.3. I think they're almost up to 2 ETH now floor. I'm excited for their game. I think down the road there's potential for us to do a game together or something there.
Okay. You mentioned Solana. Did you mint on Ethereum or Solana?
We did Ethereum, but I've been keeping an eye on all these Solana projects. And I invested in Solana coin a couple weeks ago, and it's turning out pretty nice. So
yeah, you've done well over the past few weeks on Solana, and there's a lot of enthusiasm and excitement there. And is there a plan to do an NFT drop on that chain, or?
Yeah, we're looking into it. I want to reward current holders. So once our floor goes up a bit, I think we might do an airdrop there, but we'll see.
Interesting.
What are your guys' thoughts on Solana NFTs?
Solana NFTs, I think there is room for a new player that doesn't necessarily have such high gas costs on every mint and every transaction, which is keeping a lot of people out right now. Tezos is trying to fill that gap, but haven't really gone into the gaming world yet. And Matic have carved out that space, but Solana have raised, I don't know the exact number, but something like $500 million, and have a big war chest that they're deploying a lot of capital into, and putting a lot. Solana Labs are spending a lot on Metaplex, which is their protocol for NFTs. So I think we're going to start seeing a lot of Solana drops. Will they be able to hold the long-term kind of cachet and premium that Ethereum NFTs have today? That'll take a bit of time, but I'm bullish. I'm bullish on the Solana ecosystem and what's going to come out of it.
Nice. Do you have any Solana NFTs personally?
I have not bought any Solana NFTs yet, but I know a few people who have. I haven't yet.
You haven't dove into the pool of Solana yet.
I have not, but I hold a lot of Solana, the token, so maybe I should start spending it wisely on some good NFTs.
Yeah.
Is there a project that you would recommend we look into and potentially bring onto the show in the Solana world?
I forget the name, but there was the first project released ever on Solana. I almost
the DGen Apes.
Was it DGen Apes?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna buy one just because it was the first one ever, and it might end up like CryptoPunks or something.
Well, you heard it here first. DGen Apes could become like CryptoPunks from Sean. So
God.
If you're thinking about getting an NFT on the and getting into the game, and you're bullish on Solana, well, maybe that's the one we should be buying.
If somebody's thinking about buying, a Chibi Dino or Chibi Dino, what are some things they should be thinking about? Like, obviously there's people in the game who are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on a daily basis, and your floor price is cheap enough, and they'll say, "Hey, I'll buy." But let's say it's a noob, right? Somebody that's new to the space, looking to jump in, and they're looking at your project. What are some things they should be looking at? Why should they buy your project?
It's more, I think, a bet on me as an entrepreneur to start this brand and build it out. I think that's a major thing. I think that's also why we did well. I forgot to mention earlier, all our owners were doxxed on the website. It wasn't an anonymous project. I think that really helps these days. But yeah, we still have the game to come out. We still got 3 more team captains to announce. We've only announced 7 of them so far. One of them's a top 50 NBA player, so I'm excited to announce that one. And we just got a really good team. I mean, Sokos, I'll bring him on next time. He's a great leader as well, former military guy, knows how to run operations. So yeah, there's just a lot of stuff planned, and I'm always going to put the community first, listen to them, and I take all their advice pretty seriously.
And if someone wants to buy a Chibi today, what should they be looking at? Is it, within punks, you have aliens and apes, and there's a kind of different type of rarities. Which are the ones that you think are undervalued that people should be looking at and potentially acquiring?
Yeah, we got a rarity chart posted on our Twitter somewhere and in the Discord. I know the jersey numbers 23, 24, and 8 are the most rare for Kobe, LeBron, and Jordan. The ones holding a basketball are rare, I believe. Laser eyes are rare. But yeah, it should be on Rarity Tools, all the rare trades.
And what are your thoughts of, Steph Curry buying an ape? Is it culture now? Is he buying an ape because he wants to really be involved in the community, really wants to invest into NFTs? Or is it part of culture where, hey, it's cool to have your Twitter profile be an ape, or hopefully one day be a chibi?
I think he's in it for the long run personally because he just got equity in FTX and they're launching an NFT exchange soon, I believe, with Solana and Ethereum integrated. So that will be big. And he bought an ape and he also bought like 5 Rumble Kongs too. So it looks like he's I don't know if he's just playing around or in it seriously, but sounds like he's taking it serious.
And the guys you talk to, you said you have a lot of influencer friends, a lot of NBA player friends. What are their thoughts on NFTs? What is it a way for them to make kind of secondary income, or do they believe in the technology and believe in it as an investment?
I don't even know. Most of them still don't even know about it. The ones I talk to, I think, are just treating it as like investment. I've talked to Grayson Allen. He's been diving in. Michael Carter Williams. A few other players. Josh Green on the Mavericks, had lunch with him the other day. It's mainly right now just educating them because they don't really know the true value of them yet, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, you have guys like Josh Hart, who's seems like he's all in, right? He has his own project, and you see him on Twitter and Discord, and he's all in. And then you have guys like Des Bryant, you have guys like Ja Rule, who seem to really be finding themselves in the NFT community. And I've spoken to Ja personally, and he seems like he's all in, and he loves the community, he loves the space, and it's something that he's looking to be in the long term. And personally, I see a lot more of these guys coming more and more in the space. But kind of the way I'm looking at it, it's obviously one as an investment perspective, but also it's a culture perspective, right? It's almost like a way that these celebrities and influencers can express themselves by saying, this is the type of NFT I can relate to, right? This is the type of NFT I am. I made a prediction on the show that's still wrong. I said LeBron is going to buy a punk, not an ape, because I believe he's more of an OG and punks are more OG. So, I see him associating himself more with a punk than an ape, and Steph Curry is more new school and ape fits him. So that's how I'm looking at it. Do you think some of these guys are looking at it the same way?
I don't know, honestly. I mean, it's so new to most of them. I think, I really don't know.
Okay. And what you're educating guys on a daily basis? What are you saying to them, or what questions are they asking you, or why what are you telling them? Why should somebody?
No, they're literally like, I have a FaceTime with Taco Fall today. He doesn't even know what an NFT is. Like,
well, most people don't. I mean, I get my father-in-law texted me the other day and says, "What's an NFT? What's a CryptoPunk? Why is there work?" Like I'm literally like, this is like education 101, right? You're talking about
I had to show Tyler Hero how to set up a MetaMask. Like, he didn't even know what Ethereum was. Some of these guys don't even know what Ethereum is. So I just have to show them like how to get them basically, and then teach them which projects are good and what not to do and stuff.
So for our listeners, you're still very early. That's the take home that I get, that, the most influential people in the world who have all the access are still learning about this technology, are still figuring it out. And when they do, they'll be coming in droves, as well as probably doing some interesting drops like we've just seen Sean's collaboration and what he's done with his company. Sean, I don't know if you've seen the NFL have banned the players from creating their own NFT drops. What do you think about that?
I thought that was crazy. I posted that yesterday. I tagged Des Bryant and he reposted it too. He's probably pissed because he was just planning his drop this week or whatever. And it's interesting because Tom Brady owns that autograph company too. So I don't know what he's going to do about that. But yeah, a lot of people were pissed about that, and it sucks because now I can't even have these NFL players, promote NFT stuff.
It's going to be interesting to see how the battle of IP plays out and who owns the rights to your own intellectual property and your own face and your own fame. And the NFL is saying, well, we actually own that. You don't.
At least you can smoke weed now. You can smoke weed, but you can't make money off NFTs. So
I wonder why they did that.
Because they want to make the money.
The NFL wants to do what NBA Top Shot did, I imagine.
Oh, so they're going to drop their own NFT line.
I imagine so. Yeah, I think
Interesting.
they definitely want to control it and be able to produce their own assets, and
But even though Top Shot dropped their own line, there's still players promoting other NFT stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, it comes back to, for example, Fanatics just signed a deal with the NFL Players Association, and the NFL Players Association, Fanatics might have said to them, "Hey, we want to do a deal with you guys where we're going to do NFTs, and there's going to be a rev share there in 2026." And they're believing in Fanatics as opposed to some web development company or somebody grabbing an NFL player and having him do an NFT. Full disclosure, I bought, this is months ago, a Mahomes drop that Mahomes did, where I thought it was going to be like one of the best investments ever because he was only limiting certain numbers of them, and I was pretty new to the NFT game when I bought it.
Right.
It's, I don't want to say it's worthless, but right now it's not worth much, right? Because Mahomes is not in the NFT space. But if Mahomes comes into the NFT space in the next 2, 3, 5 years, whatever it is, the drop that I have, and there's only 50 of it in the world, might be the most expensive thing, ever made out of Mahomes, right? So you never know. And I guess that's kind of, I think a lot of these guys don't understand that you have to be in it on the long-term perspective, and you have to continue to give to the community and be in the space, right? As opposed to kind of what you were saying, right? Where influencers sometimes will just shout out an NFT or promote a project, but they're not actually invested into the project on a long-term basis. And I think, Steph changing his profile picture, I'm assuming, is him saying, I'm investing into it on a long-term basis. And this is not just a money grab for me to flip my ape for a few $100,000.
Yeah, what's a few $100,000 to Steph Curry, right?
Not a lot. He can make that on the golf course. But so where does one, tell our listeners before we let you go, where does one go to find your Discord, your Twitter? Where can people find you?
Yeah, just on Twitter, Dinos Chibi. I was gonna try to get Chibi Dinos, but it wasn't available. And then Discord should be on the Twitter and on our website, chibidinos.io.
Cool. Yossi, any parting words for Sean?
Sean, I look forward to watching the game development, and I'm going to start scouting out which are those chibis to start acquiring on our side. So please keep us posted as well. We'd love to update our viewers as there's progress on your end. And congratulations on the hustle and launching an NFT in 8 days. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, thank you guys. This was fun for sure. I had a lot of fun.
Awesome. Sean, pleasure having you on. We'll see you again soon. Talk soon. Wow, 8 days. We're slacking, man. We can't even get a show together.
That is impressive. That is the power of the hustle and being able to move quickly. We heard about the elements that you need in order to launch a successful NFT project, as well as the dividends that pay off if you're grinding it out over a 5-year period on social media and building up an audience. You heard that this isn't an overnight success. This is hard work and dedication that has come together. He's using his network, he's using his resources, he's using his built-in capabilities within his company, and wants to build a real community around the Chibi Dino side of things. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. And this is the wonderful world of NFTs. You have such creative energy coming in from so many different directions, using this as a way to connect with customers, with audiences, with communities and fans. So I'm excited to see where it'll play out.
Me too. And once again, the more and more people we talk to, the more and more we listen to others, the more we dig into deeper on other projects, the same things we keep hearing. What's important? Community feedback, listening to the community, having the community get involved. And I think that's, really true to seeing what makes successful projects, right? It's not just, you can't just solve it with money. You can't just solve it with influencers. I think you have to spend money, right? Because you have to continue to reinvest into your brand, but you have to do it in a way where you're curating and building, as opposed to just throwing this bunch of shit against the wall and seeing what sticks. I'm excited to see where Sean and Chibi Dinos end up. And look, in the comments, we have a bunch of people that are saying, let's go. We have fans. We have fans of this brand. And maybe for somebody that's looking to get into their first NFT, this could be the place to look at it because they are relatively inexpensive as of right now. But, maybe that will change. Sean did say he has a team captain that's a top 50 NBA player. Maybe that's something that's going to make them go up. We shall see. I had a lot of fun today. Another great show. I see we have a bunch of new viewers. Let's
welcome
tell our new viewers about the Goat Vault.
Well, our new viewers, if you have not heard about the Goat Vault, it is the most exciting NFT prize pool available today. Stanley and I are investing our own cash up to $10,000. We've deployed about $3,500 of that so far into acquiring NFT assets, bringing them into the vault, securing them so that they're nice and safe. And when we get to 5,000 subscribers, we'll be opening up the vault and randomly giving them to our loyal subscribers. And by then, we think that number is going to be north of $100,000. It could be even more than $1 million if the market continues the way it goes. And every week, we're finding new NFTs to add into the vault. Maybe we should add a Chibi into the vault for our next show. Maybe. Well, you're going to have to see and stay tuned to see what's in the vault next week. And the only way we're going to get there is by subscribing and having you retweeting, sharing the show with your family and friends. And if you want to know what's happening in the world of NFTs and collectibles, this is the show to do it. So subscribe and stand a chance of winning the Goat Vault.
The Goat Vault! Yossi, I had a great time as always. We'll be back next week for a lot more fun. And for all of you guys watching, we hope you guys enjoyed it. We hope you guys got some value here. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit us up on Twitter, on IG. We're here for you. We want to talk to you. We want to build our community one show at a time. And
next week we have a special guest. We haven't confirmed the time, but it's someone who is deep in the NFT space that goes deep into daily analysis of the NFT market and shares all of that alpha. So we're going to learn more about his process, where he finds out about all the new NFT drops before they even hit the market. So it's a show you will not want to miss.
Absolutely. I might have told a few people that we might be hosting this person as a guest.
Stanley, I can tell you nothing.
We don't have a date yet. We don't have a date yet. And those people said, I need a time. I need to reserve what I'm doing because this person is one of the biggest and most interesting people on Twitter with the information that they share. I'm a big fan. Make sure you follow us on social. We'll make sure to let you guys know what date and time it's happening next week. Till next time, peace and love, and see you guys next week.
Ciao.